Alright, here's a KDK industrial ceiling fan model B56X5. This one we bought back in 2004, and it's actually my first KDK that I ever had. We installed this originally in the dining room, and then we moved it over here back in 2009 because this fan was getting very greasy in the dining room because the kitchen was right next to it, and we figured it'd just be better to have a white fan for a bedroom, and it didn't match with anything in the dining room either. It had a lot of brown furniture, but we still do have brown furniture in there, like wood furniture, so we figured that we should take this one and put it over here and put a brown and brass KDK that matches better. And so far, that's the way it stayed, so yeah. This is a 4 globe we bought for it back in 2006. 2007-ish. I think it's 07 we bought the globe. Yeah, it was in 07 we bought it. Yeah, the blades are starting to rust up a tiny bit recently. And I'm really surprised that it's just now starting to bubble up like this, because it's the first time it's ever bubbled up like this over the time we've had it. A lot of fans, they get like the whole entire side will be covered with rust bubbles over the amount, by the time it's a fan that any KDKs this age, so been pretty lucky with this one, hence why I prefer to have the older KDKs, since they don't rust up that quick like the newer ones do. Like the one in the dining room, that one has a ton of rust building up on it. Well, it's forming, but since it's brown, you don't see it as much. Yeah. It's a painted a off-white finish. It's called almond. I painted it this way because these fans sometimes will yellow over the time due to the heat and dirt. Because this country's not the cleanest, and there's a lot of dirt that comes in from the streets. Hence why some of them will get a bit yellowed, and I figured maybe just paint them off-white just so they don't get yellowed like that. There's the KDK logo there as well. Let me go ahead and start off on speed 1. Hold on, it's a very powerful fan. The one in the dining room is moved just a tiny bit more, and that's only because it hangs down a little bit lower. But yeah, the ones from the 90s and 2000s up until like 2008 are like the good ones. After that, they basically went downhill into how they are today. Still good, but they're not as good as these ones. Oh, the ones from the 90s are even better than these ones from the 2000s era. They basically go a speed faster than these ones do on each speed. So the speed 1 on the older 90 ones are basically the speed 2 of this one, and from now on it's the same concept. The funniest thing about this one is the blades are in basically perfect alignment, but the fan does have a wobble still to it for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but it doesn't affect the fan's performance. Alright, move up to speed 2. Yeah, but before we put this in here, there was a Home Trends Rainbow Hugger in here, 6-bladed one. That was originally in my bedroom fan, but we moved that over here once the KDK that I have in there now. That's my current bedroom fan since 05. We placed it, then we moved it in here, and then a KDK we placed it again in this room. And then my mom decided to give it to the person who took it down, because they were very poor people, and she felt bad that they didn't have any fan, so she gave it to him just under the terms that they were going to borrow it, and that's actually what was supposed to happen. But then apparently we lost contact with the guy, and then I realized later on that I wasn't going to get that fan back, because basically we haven't even heard from him ever since he did the job here with this fan, well, when he took it down and such, and put this one up. The motor shaft on the fan is a little bit loose, hence why you see the light kit shaking a bit. The globe isn't. It's not the globe that's loose. It's the light kit that shakes a bit. No, over the past 6 years, over the past well, as of next year, it'll be 10 years since we put it in this room. Or the fan's older than that. It's always been shaking like that, but the globe doesn't loosen up at all, thankfully. So if the globe loosened up over time because of that, I'd be more concerned about it, but it's not. So I don't really worry about it. The only thing that kind of is annoying about it, speed 3, is it shakes a lot and you kind of hear the glass kind of bounces around. You can kind of hear it rubbing against the light bulb and such, which my mom gets annoyed by it sometimes in the summer. Sometimes it shakes a lot, sometimes it doesn't. But my grandmother, it doesn't bother her. She can sweep through anything, even if there's like an earthquake going on, she can sweep through it. So this wouldn't bother her at all. But yeah, it's a pretty good fan though. Basically, equivalent of like basically this is basically Dominican Republic's gold wines since they don't have them down here, and they're pretty close in performance of a gold wine. In all honesty, not exactly the same, but it's comparable. Or maybe like more like close to like a Dayton and Air Movement, I guess. I mean, the motors don't need to stamp steel, but I mean, I've seen fans down here, some of these run for like 20 years. Ever since I was a kid, never get a break almost, and they still are running to this day. And it's very hot down here, so that you'd expect them to get more worn out. All right, now for speed 4. Yeah, for fans being made in Malaysia, I think that's where these were made. It's a Japanese fan company, KDK, for those who don't know. It's basically the same thing as Panasonic. Sometimes you see some of these labeled as Panasonic, but down here you mostly always would see them as KDK. Panasonic you'd see sometimes here, but I know in other countries where they tend to sell these, you'll see a lot of them under the Panasonic label too. The people down here like KDK more, so that's why a lot of the stores that sell them, they order more the KDK versions because people recognize that name more than Panasonic in terms of ceiling fans. So they tend to go with the one that they recognize more based on the reputation. Same thing that they do up there in the United States. A lot of people are like, oh, Hunter's a good fans company. They've been around for a long time. Yeah, they used to be, but and that's kind of the same thing here. A lot of people think there are a lot of people who know that KDKs have gone downhill compared to like the older ones like these, or even older than these ones, and they hang on to them for that exact reason. The only time they really tend to get rid of them is like in a store where or like in that situation. When it comes to being in a home, they'll basically always hold on to them. All right. Now for speed 5. A lot of stores, you'll even see some stores that they have a ton of older ones, like, or even older than these ones. And what they'll do is if they see them yellow, they'll just repaint them instead of replacing them, which I think is the better way to go about it. Even though you'll never see fans down here get thrown out unless the fan's completely unsalvageable. Honestly, that's the only time you'll ever see a fan down here thrown out. People down here, that's one of the things they value the most, are fans, in terms of like holding on to stuff. Because it's a hot country, so they actually value them down here, unlike in the United States. Unless it's like a residential type one that's in really bad shape, those are usually the only ones that they'll throw out. But KDK, even if the thing's basically destroyed, they'll still hold on to it and like try to fix it up to the best of it, as much as it can be fixed up. But yeah, this fan definitely moves a lot of air on the high speed. But yeah, the older ones, like the 90s and early very early 2000s, like almost like a year before this one we bought. They would have the white kids a lot closer to the motor housing like it is here. Then the later ones, they would kind of hang down just a tiny bit lower, like the one in my bedroom and the dining room. I always liked it more like this. I felt like it looked more. I just thought that it always looked better having it close to the housing, motor housing, instead of it hanging down a little bit lower. Especially in the case of mine, since mine hangs down a tiny bit lower, you can see all the dust built up inside of it, which I don't think it's that appealing. So having it close like this blocks it. And now for the spin down. Oh yeah, these are definitely very good fans. Kind of wish they sold them in the United States, but at least I'm always down here basically every year, so I can get to see them in national and I can always buy them down here when I find some. The best thing is they're very common down here. The brown and brass ones from like the 2000s era, those don't show up as much at pawn shops because people hold on to those ones since they're nicer looking, and they hold up better appearance-wise than the white ones do. But the completely brown ones are the ones that are very hard to find. I've only seen one ever since I was a kid. I used to see a few of them as a kid, but since then I haven't seen them since. Last time I saw them until the one I started at dentist's place, which you guys have seen a few videos of. That was the first one I've seen since I was 4 years old, and that's the only one I know of as of to this day, which is something I do. I'm definitely gonna try to buy that one off of him, but yeah. It basically looks exactly like this, except all brown, where the brown ones that you guys see for the most part are brown and brass, which has a different design. But the ones that are completely brown, those are the really hard ones to find. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to repaint this a little bit. I could let it rust up a little bit more, but well, it's probably gonna get worse by the time I get back. So by then I'll redo it, but I just don't have the time to repaint the blades now. I mean, it's been about 2 years, I think, since I repainted them, or a year and a half. It's been about a year and a half now. It's gonna be 2 years next year, so held up for 2 years. That's not bad. Usually before, when I'd paint them, they'd start rusting up within 6 months, and these ones held up for quite a bit of time. So yeah, I definitely recommend using less oleum if you ever are gonna repaint industrial blades and putting them in a spot there where they could get a little bit rusty. Thing is, though, the windows on here, they usually are always open because on here, that's kind of the only way you can keep the house not from being too hot, is having the breeze from outside and coming in. They have bars on the windows, so that's the only other reason why they have the windows open all day. It's kind of like almost like jail bars they do down here. It's something that they do in these Caribbean countries sometimes. Yeah, I think they do it in Florida too. They'll have like metal bars on the windows so people can't break in and such. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.